Good morning, everybody. John with Adventures in Wrenching, and today's episode I'm going to be working on something that I absolutely do not want to work on again. 2015 Chevy Cruze. Common problem on these is the internal regulator on the window. So window regulator, window motor is junk, and this is the second time that I have done this on this car, and that is normal, unfortunately. Shut up, you horse. You see, that is never a good sound. Yeah. I'm just hoping that the window is all in place in there. Anyway, it is a design problem on these cars. They are known to go out, unfortunately. Just like the water pumps, which we've already replaced on this. Well, I should say the dealer did, because it was under the powertrain warranty still. So, overall, the Cruze isn't a bad car, comfortable, gets decent gas mileage, but it does have its quirks, and this is one of them. So I'm going to set this up, go get my panel tools, pop this off, and take you guys along for the ride. Yay! Well, okay. So, this is pretty straightforward on this. You need T20 star. You got them in two spots. You got one right here behind the door handle itself, and actually this is missing this little centerpiece here. I wonder where that went. And down inside the little door latch right there, there's another one, also a T20. Now, I guess you could get a high dollar, more expensive set than this, but why? I don't use them that often, and you just go down to Harbor Freight and pick these up, and if they break, you go down and get another set. But you still want to use the plastic because you don't want to scratch up the and there you go. That's how easy that was. Now, in the end of it, now you got this up here too, which pops off. And you should be able to raise that, and now we should be able to get into this mess and see what's going on. This plastic does. And that's good news, the window is still in one piece. Alright, let me grab you here and take you along for the ride. Hold on. Alright, down inside you got a clip right here. Oh, that's not good. Oh, shit. Well, we're going to have to see what I can do about that. I hope I can get that to hold. And unplug these, and we should be able to pull the whole door panel off so we can get to this. So I'm going to shut you off real quick. It's just a matter of pulling these plugs out, but I need both hands to do it. Okay, well, we took the barrier paper off. That part was easy enough, but as you can see down in here, there are lots of parts that aren't supposed to be loose, like that. That's part of your window regulator. that is supposed to be connected to that. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get the window to actually get in the up position. That'll be fun. Well, the good news for a mechanic is that it is actually early November, so I am not sweating my rear end off while I'm trying to accomplish this in the middle of June in 130 degrees. Anyway, after showing you all my broken little fiddly bits here, next thing I'm going to need is 10 millimeter. I got 5 bolts here, 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 and here, and I should be able to get all this off and slide this around inside to where I can slide this window up, and I will tape it up there to hold it in place while I get this window regulator and motor off. And as I remember, and it's only been a year since I did this on this car, because as you can see, that is a Dorman replacement part, and that is a Dorman replacement part. Go figure. And usually Dorman is really good about coming up with solutions about things that the manufacturers managed to screw up. But, well, what can you say? Alright, let's get at it. And I won't bore you taking the bolts out, because that is boring. Well, everything is loose on the inside now. I got the 5 bolts off. Let's move this around a little bit so I got some way to... Anyway, as I was saying, I got all of this out and off and loose, and crap is just falling all over the place in here. Boy, when this one came apart, it really came apart. Well, the hard part of all this is I'm going to have to figure out how to get it off the bottom of the... Well, that can't be good. Wow, how do I get past that? Alrighty then. That didn't happen the last time. It is actually stuck behind the that post. Well, this is going to be less easy than it looks. Because it's come completely off that side. It's off that side. It's supposed to be held onto the window in 2 different spots. And I only see one, because I think that might be... no, that's not it either. There might be more parts in here. Well, well, well. Okay. Okay, deep down inside here, I don't know if you can see it, but down around here somewhere, there's a bolt. And I'm going to have to disconnect that bolt. Hopefully my ratchet will reach down in there. And that'll loosen the window up. Yeah, you can see it down there. I can loosen the window up off that regulator, and I might be able to get this taken care of. If I can get the parts out of there, I can get the window back on track. And that's part of my problem right now, is that it's kind of wedged over here. And it's behind the glass over here. So none of this is good. So hold on while I get down in there. Well, my friends, I think it's going to be easier if I pull this speaker out so I can get this hole opened up so I can get back in there. So let me go see what size that is. That looks kind of almost like about a 6 millimeter. Not something that I would normally have brought out here with me. So hold that thought. Okay, 7mm, not 6, not 8, like half of the rest of the planet uses, but 7. Who uses 7mm? That's stupid. See, if this were like a Honda or a Toyota or something like that, almost everything is 10mm, sometimes 6mm, but definitely not. Oh, great. Does it twist? What the heck? Oh, of course. Why would they just make this easy? Okay. Got that out of the way. And now you can actually see this bolt. Yeah, it is 10 o'clock in the morning and this car's already making me drink. All right, let me see if I can get to this bolt. Okay, now I highly recommend, and this is no joke, I know I kid around a lot, that you take a piece of tape of some sort and you tape it on this window once you get it up in position, which I have it now, in a couple of different spots. And it can be any type of tape, doesn't really matter. Because I have seen more than one unsuspecting mechanic think that this window was going to stay up, and then due to heat or movement or whatever, it pops out of that channel and crashes down and shatters inside the door panel, and that sucks just about as bad as anything that you can have happen. So I learned to do that a long time ago. If you're going to do, long term, you might want to get a stick to prop up underneath there, but if on the short term stuff that you're going to get all done in one day, this isn't going to stick or hurt to your tint or anything else. So, this food for thought. Now I should be able to wrestle this out of here somehow. This out of the way somehow. It's not going to go that way. We'll go that way. How about that? And work on getting the rest of that out. Okay, no more parts on the inside. That's a good thing. Well, General Motors, in their grand scheme of get every dollar out of everybody, I thought about replacing this cable, but I'm gonna get creative on this, I think. Reason being is this is all one piece in here, part of this locking mechanism. So instead of probably being 20 bucks for a cable, it's probably 120 bucks to replace this whole mechanism, just because they were too greedy. Yeah, we'll just say that. Greedy. To come up with a simple solution that the average person could replace it. Why would they do that? Since they're losing so much money on everything else. So I'll have a way of getting that in there. I might do a little epoxy or super glue or something to get this in place, or figure out a way to, like, small screw, pin it, something to hold it in place for that. Because this, all it does is your inside door handle. Yeah, it's annoying if that pops out, so we're going to prevent that, but I'm not going to spend an additional 120 bucks. Although the car doesn't really have that many miles on it, and it is a 2015, so there's a lot of life, but I will come up with something that works just as, well, apparently better than what they did. A plastic clip should be able to last more than 2 removals and in 4 years. All right, I'm griping enough. Let me go get the new part, and which is sitting right behind me. And that box And we'll go ahead and compare here. Well, when it comes right down to it, this right here is the piece that failed. Here's the one off of the one that I just pulled out. Not even sure it really looks all that much the same, but when you lay it out this way, that is definitely the same part. And it is snapped right across here. So, on that one, that was the weak link. Now the good news is on these, when you get these, they actually do give you instructions on how to do this. So that part's good. So now I need to get this all back in here. And there is only one. Actually, it might have been. Now that one seemed like it held up pretty good. So one of the two of these broke. And just fell apart. Alright, so let's go lay this out. I did confirm it is the same part number. I do recommend wedging the big end in first. You can see how this is designed. You're going to want to get that end in. And then slide this end in. And that is in now. And you notice that they already put the bolt in here. It's supposed to be able to just drop in place, but you can get it in there, drop it in place, drop it down, and then this other one, in theory, is supposed to bolt right there. And you can see it right here. Now I don't like tightening any of these yet until you actually get where you can get the window back in. And that's going to be the hard part, because you've got one slider here, one slider here. Not a lot of room to work. And I still have the other bolt right here that I have to get started. That goes there. That goes there. It does go so much faster if you take the time to figure out how to line up all the bolts, because you only got 5, like I said, and once they're all there, you can kind of get everything in line. So we're pretty much set. So in theory, I should be able to drop this window down slowly, because I'm going to have to loosen this one up. That's where the window slider goes, on that side. Then on this side, it's right where I can't see it, of course, down in here where my finger's at. I have to loosen that one up. So the window will slide all the way down in there. And you kind of want to keep that a little loose too, and tighten it up once the window is actually up and fully seated in place. So that's what we're going to do next. Now what I recommend is when you get to this point, you just slowly guide this down. Oh look. Well that sucks. How is that even possible? Huh. Alright. What I'm weirding out about is that was still on the original window, and it actually slid when I dropped it down, so I know this is all in place. That slid right over the top of the new one, so I have to get this old one off first. I didn't catch that. Well, I guess I could pull the old one off too, but either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to throw this back up there, pop this off, and then drop it back down again. Great. Well, I set everything back in place, and I got the switches hooked back up to hopefully raise this up slowly. Now, the reason I did that is I'm going to go around. You can see that it has caught this, but I can fix that a little bit. Drop it back down. Don't drop it back down because it's not locked in place. We're gonna have to work on this a little bit when I get that locked down, because this needs to go under, but we can adjust that later. Now they do give you access ports once you get the window in place, which I have, but I can't really film it because it's behind the metal here. But you want to get it nice and snug so the rubber grips it, so that this doesn't give you issues later. Because there's nothing like not having the window in alignment. I already have these two bolts tight. Once I have the window tight, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try all the way down, all the way up. Make sure that it still works. Then I'll tighten the rest of the bolts down and get this all buttoned back up. And figure out what I'm going to do about the door handle plastic. Now you can see I don't have it adjusted right because this is as far as it goes up, and it's got this gap right here. So I'm going to have to go back in, loosen it up, lift it up higher into the rubber channel, and tighten it back down again. Well, barrier paper's back in place. I've already got the power mirror hooked back up. This is run back through. This is still screwed up. Armrest brace is on. Got the 3 wires there. But I think I'm going to go see if I've got some epoxy. Because once this is in place, I think what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of something, super glue, JB Weld, plastic epoxy, something that is going to hook this to the plastic, and we'll just make it just a little dab in a couple of spots so that if we ever have to pull it back off again, it can just snap it off. But it'll hold it in place in the meantime. So let's go see if I can find that, and then we can get this all done. What I chose to use is some amazing goop contact cement. I'm letting it sit in there right this moment. Supposed to let it go for a couple of minutes, and then like regular contact cement, once I get it up inside that, it should hold pretty good. There isn't a lot of pressure on it. It just needs to be held in place. So we'll see how that holds up. Okay, side note. Make sure when you put this together that you route this the right direction. Because pointing up like that, I just locked myself out. Couldn't open the door at all. So fortunately you can get this off and disconnect everything. And now I'm going to pull the door panel back off and reroute that line higher. Okay. Well, that was exciting. Window goes down. Window goes up. Mirror works. Slowly, but it works. And the biggest test. Yay, I can get out. Okay. So now I get to put this together again. I didn't have that happen last time for sure. Okay, so we're going to go do the car wash leak test. make sure that this doesn't leak, and that will then be the test. Then I'll go drop off the warranty and we'll be done with this project, I hope. See you in a few. Okay, here's the test in the car wash. We're going to be watching this up here. At least he gets his car washed along the way. There's a little bit of water coming across right there, some soap. Up in the rinse category, I should be getting more water. Water coming from the top anyway and along the sides, and that is where it would leak if it's going to leak. And there's no leaks. It's all on the outside. Sweet. All right. So now we'll go vacuum it up real quick and go drop this off. Call it a car day. Well, it's a little bit late, later in the day, and I forgot to close this out. The job on the window regulator for the Chevy Cruze is all done. So that'll conclude this little adventure. Everything works fine. Please like, subscribe, follow me here and on Facebook, and I will see you on the next adventure. Thanks. Bye now.